Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. Today we are in Sicily once again. This is Sicily and its Bountiful Culinary Traditions. This, of course, is a webinar promoted by the Italian National Tourism Board of US and Canada. This is a very special one. We are also celebrating the celebration of the fifth culinary weekly of Italy, the Italian culinary. It's a great tradition. It's a one thing that we always try to promote all over the world, and this week is dedicated to the beautiful Italian cuisine. Now, this specifically webinar, it's also not just promoted by the Italian Tourism Board, but also with the patronage of the Italian Embassy in the United States, and of course, a big thank to the ambassador here in the United States, Armando Varricchio. I also want to thank, and he's also participating and is in the wing, is listening to it, my boss, the director for the Italian National Tourism Board in Rome, Mr. Bastianelli, that is also, of course, supported this beautiful initiative. On top of that, this is an extraordinary sort of opportunity also to celebrate the Italian National Tourism Board, because last year we celebrated the 100th anniversary of the creation of this extraordinary company that I'm very proudly sort of working right now. And in order to make sure that people understand what we do, we have created a virtual experience, an exhibition, if I may, where you're going to be able to see a lot of the work that has been done throughout the years by the Italian National Tourism Board. And more than everything, of course, one of the beautiful expression of the creativity that Italy had during the course of the years is the production of the posters, such as the one that you see behind me. And there's a beautiful exhibition, and you're going to receive in the chat the link that allow you to go and visit this beautiful virtual place where a lot of these posters are made available. And this specific today has two phases. This is one for Italy, but of course, because we are in Sicily, why not the beautiful city of Palermo, which is in Sicily, and of course it's perfectly in theme with today's presentation. Now, we have, as you can see, a very a large group of testimonial, because there's so much that we need to cover. You will see it in a minute. So I'm going to first presenting all the people that we have here, and then we'll go right into it. So I start with Giuseppe Lenzo. Ciao, Giuseppe. He's the third time around that he's gracing and also offering his beautiful sort of knowledge and a very comprehensive knowledge of Sicily here with us, and he is the Vice President of Memo Tour Operator in DMC. Ciao, Giuseppe, thank you for being with us. On top of him, we have, of course, Sergio Gentile. He's a tour leader and is going to walk us through the beautiful city of Palermo and give us a sense what his street food is all about. We have also Vittoria. Ciao, Vittoria. Vittoria Cerniglia. She's the co-owner of a Pasticceria Cerniglia, but she's also a tour leader herself, and she's going to tell us something very, very special about one of the most recognizable things coming from Sicily. I have the pleasure to have Federica Muriana. She's the co-owner of Osteria dei Sapori Perduti. Ciao, Federica. Hello.
Ciao.
And finally, in that beautiful settings with a backdrop that is not fake, by the way, and we will get more into it once we get to her, I want to welcome Graziella Minardi. She's the owner of Vico dei Santi restaurant. And again, she will talk about something very specific about Modica and what she does in her daily activity. So I'll stop talking because I hate the sound of my voice, and I want to allow Giuseppe to introduce us to this beautiful adventure in the cuisine of Sicily. Ciao, Giuseppe, take it away.
Buongiorno, buonasera, everybody, depending on where we are located. Hello to everybody, hello to all the attendees. We're talking about Sicily today. I'd like to start, as always, with a quotation. It's by Plato, the famous philosopher. Sicilians build things like they will live forever and eat like they will die tomorrow. This really tells a lot about the food culture here. And through Memo Tour Operator, we want to promote a tourism which is more an experience, more sustainable activities, and most importantly, instead of having tourists, we want to have temporary residents of our country. We have a lot to cover. We have a lot to cover, and it's around 3,000 years of civilizations, over 15 documented civilizations. I would like to start at once with a quick selection of pictures, if you don't mind giving me the command, because I will start a sort of ideal journey through Sicily, and most importantly, so what Sicily has to offer. Imagine let's say around 3,000 years ago, you were in Sicily and you would come up with this granary, the grain basket of the Roman Empire. That's the land. I really love starting with the earth, with the true Sicily. Big production of olives as well as extra virgin olive oil, of course. A few days ago, we had the harvest with my family. Most Sicilians own a little piece of land. And this year, little quantity, very, very good quality indeed. Big amount of citrus. Oranges are starting actually these days with some tangerines. Later on with blood orange. Freshly squeezed orange juice is something to die for. I wish you were here just to smell and taste. Also, of course, lemons, especially in the area of Mount Etna. Coming from the Arabs, Sicily was an Arab emirate for over 2 centuries. We have both almonds and pistachios that will come up later. Pistachios, especially, they grow in volcanic soil, very extreme geology, very diverse, but very, very unique indeed. Then farming and fishing. When it comes to farming, ricotta cheese. Ricotta stands for recooked, a very light cheese that will be the protagonist in some of the explanations we're going to learn from the other speakers this evening. Last time I showed you a picture of the big fish, the big predators of the Mediterranean Sea, tuna swordfish. Here we have sardines, again, another prince ingredient of our cuisine. And most of the times vendors are fishermen instead of being actual sellers. And look at the display of color. This is a picture taken in Palermo. This is really the essence, the soul of the Mediterranean destination, which is Sicily, the largest island in the Mediterranean. I'm going to show you a picture, a map, in a few moments. Let me show you the display of colors here: fennel, artichokes, tomato, eggplant. The personal touch you get from the vendors that sell you food. Most of the time people buy there at the street market instead of going to the big supermarket. And then you have the second step, how we contribute to have special dishes. In this case, it's pasta. In this case, it's cheese with the milk we have, that comes from cows and
Does this
and
have a
sheep in
name? Because
general.
I saw it the other day when we did the rehearsal. What's the name of this specific cheese that has pistachio in it? What's the name of it?
Well, you can just call it provola with pistachio. You can also have the caciocavallo, mainly made of cow. You might also have pecorino if it's sheep, even if it's mostly have black pepper instead of pistachio. You have many varieties. We also have the one made of goat with pistachio. That's another variety, mostly produced in southern Sicily.
Fantastic.
Cherry tomatoes, especially the one of Pachino, southeast of Sicily, you can have it fresh. On the right, you can have it sun-dried. That was one of the favorite activities of my grandpa on my mother's side. And I still remember the arguments we had because I used to steal the sun-dried tomatoes before they were actually ready. But that's one of the beautiful memories we have. Again, people behind food. This would be the afternoon snack that my grandpa would prepare for me. A typical bruschetta, bread, olive oil, tomato, and basil, without wine. I remember I didn't get wine when I was 8-year-old, but that would be the afternoon snack, as they say. I saw once in a commercial, buy healthy food, or as your grandparents called it, food. I mean, here, this healthy food is our actual food, what you actually find on an everyday basis. And again, parmigiana, eggplant, and tomatoes being probably the most common ingredients on this island. Fish, as I said, and the simplest recipe are the best to fish. In this case, as you can see, no cream, no sauce. You simply put extra virgin olive oil, parsley, some people add some lemon, and you can really get the soul of the Mediterranean Sea. In this case, you have swordfish, calamari, and prawns. But again, the simpler, the better. That's one of the secrets of our diet, also known as the Mediterranean diet. Last but not least, the marzipan with the almonds that I showed you before. You can make almond paste and make these fake fruits, are not actually fruits, but to be combined. So this beautiful almond paste are object of the creativity of the locals with some nice dessert wine. It could be Malvasia, but also Marsala. By the way, Marsala is the very earliest DOC labeled wine that was established in Italy as a whole country. So that's something we're really proud of. But to show you exactly where we're located, I'm sure that most of you know where Sicily is, but as you can see, very close to the mainland Italy, several airports, very easily connected. Most importantly, stuck in the middle of the Mediterranean area, not far from the Balkans, from North Africa, from the Iberian Peninsula. To get closer, this is a picture of our beautiful island, and not only you can see the main airports, the largest ones being Palermo, the capital city on the west, and Catania, the second largest city on the east. And plus, we added the symbol of Memo Tour Operator, this beautiful red and white terracotta amphora, let's say terracotta amphora. That's the symbol. And that's to get you familiar with the areas we're going to cover this evening in terms of food. So the west with Palermo and the area of Piana degli Albanesi, southwest of Palermo. And later on, we go to southeast in the town of Modica with our next speakers. So that's it for the time being. Thank you very much for attention. And I know we have now the first city, the capital city of Palermo. It has to be Palermo, street food capital, one of the world's street food capitals, according to the prestigious magazine Forbes. And today we have Sergio that will tell us something more about why Palermo is so unique in terms of food tradition. Thank you.
All right. So I guess Sergio, it's your turn now to speak.
It's my turn. Yes.
But the beautiful traditional street food, actually, you know, as Giuseppe already sort of mentioned, it's just becoming a big thing here in the U.S. And of course, it's one thing that you know, it bound people together, and I think it's an extraordinary expression of what the city has to offer for just an everyday sort of visit to the beautiful city of Palermo. So I'm very curious to see what you have to say about the street food in Palermo.
So, hi to everybody, first of all. So I'm a tour leader and a tour guide. I work here in Palermo, and I do this kind of street food tours. It's a possibility, you know, what we can do here in Palermo. The reason why we can do that is because Palermo has a very long story, and all of these moments in history related to food. Let's say it's like if you go to a restaurant in Palermo, and if you open the menu of a restaurant, it's like to open a book of history. All the ingredients we have in our recipes, they have been brought here by many people. As Giuseppe said, we are in the center of the Mediterranean Sea, a very strategical position. Palermo is a very important port of the Mediterranean Sea, and so anybody wanted to come here, anybody brought something. We reinvented during the time all these ingredients, creating a lot of recipes which had been let's say then copied by many chefs and etc. And today if you go around in Palermo to know the history of the town, one of the best thing you can do is to eat the town. Even because if you tell me what you eat, I can tell you who you are. So if you want to understand who we are, it's better, you know, you start to eat like us.
So, makes sense. Perfect. Makes sense.
So I prepared a video. It's a video of some tours I did and some experiences I had with some tourists. So if you wanna send the video,
absolutely,
so we can watch it, and then we can talk about it.
Got it. Let's take a look at the video.
Come si beccia, quanto sei dolce, quando te vedo i tassi vuci, di lato magici, quanto mi piaci, basta cornici, né tanto pace, parta se ne esci, dato finestra, muovi gli cianghi e pure la coscia, pari con vita, a me cittadini, mentre ti cala, giusti la crasta. Appena già sapreli, lo sole in accarizza, le femmini su betti e chi ne contentizza, e vanno passiando a ridendo la città, e danno qualche sguardo malizioso caetà. Come si becca, quanto sei dolce, quando ti vedo e tassi voci, di lato magici, quanto mi piaci, basta cornici, né tanto pace, fatta se ne esci, dato finestra, smuovi gli cianghi e pure la coscia, pari con vita, me cittadini, mentre ti cala, giusti la crasta. affacciano barconi e ti pegni tutto sole, t'aggiusti la minnuzza e t'allisci i capizzi, e nace cataliamo affacciato finissoni, dicemmo quando è bella da picciotta caccetta, come si bella, quanto sei dolce, quando ti vedo e tassi voci, di lato magico, quanto mi piaci, basta con leggi, ne tanto pace, parla se ne esci, dato finestra, smuovi gli scianchi e pure la coscia, vai con me da un'egita lì, legge di cala, giusti la crasta. Pigliando la chitarra ni facemo una cantata, pensando di dare i tini labbra una basata, ti giri e ti rigiri e ti fai una riduta, e pigli come ti vengono le cose di la vita, come si beccia, quanto sei dolce, quando ti vedo e tassi voci, di lato magico, quanto mi piaci, basta con leggi, ne tanto pace, guarda se ne esce, dato finestra, smuovi gli scianchi e pure la coscia, vai con me da me cittadini, mentre ti cala, giusti la crasta, vai con me da me cittadini, mentre ti cala, giusti la crasta.
So as you could see there from the video, everything is very, very healthy in Palermo. Let's start saying that whatever we prepare here in Palermo is all mainly is deep fry. One of our secrets is to deep fry everything. You know, if you have a shoe and you want to deep fry it, it can become you know, a sort of a specialty of Palermo. I prepared also something here for you to show you, because you know, it's also my everyday life, you know. So I prepared a little dish with an arancina here, which is this rice ball.
Oh, wow.
I can catch it for you.
That's not fair. That's not fair.
That's
This is
not
lunch
fair.
break
I know,
for
I
us,
know.
man.
You
Can't
see,
do that.
this is how we make it. This is considered, let's say, the queen of our street food. This is a rice bowl where the rice is cooked with saffron. Inside we put meat, the little peas, carrots, and onions. So this is the original. Let's say it's a sort of a ragu without the tomato sauce.
Yeah.
And it's something. If you go to the Berbers today, nowadays, you know, they would host you, giving you this this kind of ragu, this kind of meat, you know, just beside a rice cooked with saffron. This is a takeaway version we made in Palermo because we deep fried it, as I told you. Then we have also these, which are little potato croquet, you see, which are called the cazzilli, for a very silly thing, because cazzillo, it's a bad word. I apologize with everybody.
Yeah,
you know, cazzillo means a little wheelie.
Yes,
because the shape it reminds something. So then we have these, which are the fritters called panelle. They are made with the chickpea flour and water and parsley. So let's say you saw at the beginning of the video the preparation of this panelle. They are molded. They using molds, you know, where to put this sort of dough. And sometimes they have a sort of signature. You can see there is an M here. Yeah, which is somebody says it's related to the Madonna, somebody to an old guy called Mimi, who was the inventor of this kind of molds. And then here, this is just a seasonal, so I have the occasion to show you. This is another thing. Wait a minute. So I don't have instrument, because the first instrument for street food are fingers. So
sure, of course.
These are called caiduna here in Palermo. It's a plant which is very similar to the artichoke. It's a sort of cousin of the artichoke. You can see how it's made inside. Cool. It's made with butter.
So it's kind of bitter when you eat it? What's the flavor?
Yes. Yes, it's a little bitter, and it's like very similar to the artichoke
Gotcha.
flavor, let's say. And this is from, especially from this period. In this period, you can find it, the so-called carduna. Then in the video, I also try to show you something else. Maybe you can expect to find fish in Palermo because we are a very important port. There's always been a very important port. But actually, for the Palermitans, you know, Palermo is a town that gives its shoulders to the sea, and we prefer to eat the meat instead the fish. If you want to find the fish, you have to go in private houses, and you will find it for sure. But
Okay.
on the streets, you will find organs from the animal, entrails. We have a long tradition coming from the Jewish community we used to have in this town, you know, in the 15th century. And they used to prepare these delicacies for the Christians because for them it was totally forbidden by the Talmud, you know. But they left to us these traditions. So we eat, for example, the spleen of the veal inside of a sandwich. It's called panica mievosa, which is a Sicilian dialect, so an Italian wouldn't understand that, and you are not understanding me maybe.
Me neither. No.
And then we also roast the intestine of the animals, something called stigiola, which has an incredible flavor. And any kind of this food, you can find it on the streets. So let's say,
those are
besides,
those were
yeah.
like the big stove that was tilted. Those are those things that you were talking about.
Oh yes, exactly. The panica mievusa, which is the spleen sandwich, let's say, it's made by boiling the organ, the spleen. It is boiled, then it is made in slices, and then it is cooked in the fat. So when it's boiled, it loses all the fat, and then you give it back, you know,
Sure, of course.
by frying it.
Why do without
By
it?
frying it in that tilted pan, which is made tilted, so you can warm it up, you know, in the bottom part. If you don't want to warm it up, you put it in the upper part.
Nice.
And then it's prepared with a sandwich. It can be served with caciocavallo cheese, with the ricotta cheese, according, you know, to the vendor. It changes according to the tradition of the vendor. But and we used to say it is we have the married panino, the married sandwich, when the ricotta cheese is marrying, let's say, the spleen, and it's a single panino when it's just the spleen. So we call it the schitto and maritato in Sicilian, which means single and married. And then you also saw that strange drink, which is
yes, I wanted to ask you about that.
sort of digestive. Because after what you saw here, this is all fried. You know, the gold of Palermo. It can give you some problems, some digestive problems. Something we call the bottaraceto, which means a bit of a heat of acid. Let's say we call it like that. It's a technical language that. And
liquid plumber.
just to fix that, we invented this drink, which is called autista, the driver, because it was maybe invented by a driver, you know, a taxi driver in the past. Coming from a party, he had these digestive problems. He asked to the bartender to prepare a mixture which is made of lemon juice, fruit juice, salts, and the secret ingredient which make it explosive, which is sodium bicarbonate. So
amazing.
You have to be fast to drink it, because otherwise it explodes in the glass. Yes.
Ascol, listen, one thing that's very important, I know it's probably almost a silly question, but it's very important for the people who are listening to it. People from Palermo still go daily to go and have that food, or it's mainly something just for the tourists to show? I mean, this is still a tradition.
No.
People go and eat outside.
It's something that we always have. Also every day it can be possible. You know, there are people who let's say they feed themselves just with street food. It's not so healthy, of course, but let's say yes, you can find it anywhere. Any bar, any bakery, they have this kind of delicacies, let's say.
Got it. So because I saw there was a lot of tourists, of course, that they were portrayed, but again, because it's so essential for the people listening to us understanding what is the quintessential great sort of Sicilian experience, I believe that this has really fallen
exactly in that category of doing something that a normal guy from Palermo or somebody who lives in Palermo does often. Let's say not daily, because otherwise they will,
You know,
they will eat too
I
much.
can tell you that during my youth, for example, just to, when you start to understand your town, you start to map in your mind your town. I had this, I was able to map the town thanks to all the places where to eat. So with my friends, just to understand where place it is, we say close to the street food monger there in that
So you
little
already
road.
created
So
your tour. You're already a tour leader when you're a kid. You didn't know it.
Exactly.
So that's
Yes.
perfect. So people can come and contact you and come in Palermo. You will sort of make them fat by going around. That's perfect.
Area I can find a place where to find an arancina, a panella, a cazzillo. Yes.
That's a deal. Thank you very much, Sergio. Grazie. So
You're welcome.
Giuseppe, we saw the beautiful Palermo, beautiful street food. So what's next? We are already stuffed, but we have some room left. What should we eat next?
It's only the beginning. Let's take an ideal ride southwest of Palermo, surrounded by some beautiful hills, and let's see one of the main sweet delicacies we have always done in Sicily. Something we like bringing in a tray when we are guests of somebody's home. We always say we never knock at the door with our hands. We knock with our feet, because with our hands we're holding. What are we holding, Vittoria? Vittoria, she will tell you. Please go ahead.
It depends, but I think, buonasera,
Ciao,
Miss
ciao.
Germa, I want to greet you in my mother tongue, because you maybe don't know that in Sicily we are a lot of people that speak, of course, different dialects from Palermo or Catania or other areas, but there are also people like me that I am a part of a minority, because my ancestors escaped from Albania more than 500 years ago. This means that until nowadays, in my small community, named Piana degli Albanesi, Hora e Arbrejve, we still continue speaking a kind of Albanian language that is named Arbresh. So I am an Arbresh, I'm Italian, of course, I'm Sicilian, especially from Palermo. I want to point out that Palermo is a little bit different. And I continue with my family the tradition, not only from a cultural point of view, but my father started 50 years ago a pastry shop, and we can say that the one of the best thing that you can have in Sicily is cannolo. Okay,
Right.
you know, in America, in US, like cannoli. But if you want to to be like an Sicilian wine, you should say cannolo.
Cannolo. Perfetto.
Cannolo, please. Okay. So
Got
this is a short video with the man of my life. It's not my husband. It's not my boyfriend. It's my father.
Daddy.
And I hope
Okay.
you, Daddy, Papa. So if you want, we can see this video together.
Sure, of course. Looking for.
Hello to everyone. I am Vittorio Cerniglia. He's my father, Salvatore, nicknamed Turi. Say hello to everyone. Ciao. And we are here in our pastry shop. You want to introduce yourself, please?
Sono Salvatore Cerniglia, conosciuto come Turi. Nasco a Piana degli Albanesi, dove ho incominciato a fare questo lavoro.
I was born in Piana degli Albanesi when I started my job. Which is your job? Qual è il tuo lavoro?
Il pasticcere.
I'm a pastry chef. So I traveled a lot all around Italy, and also he had a long internship, we can say, inside another pastry shop in Piana degli Albanesi, and later he moved here to San Giuseppe Jato, and that say also that Piana degli Albanesi means cannolo. Che ci vuoi dire del cannolo? Cannolo is very important. Please don't translate it and try to say cannolo, okay? And cannolo nowadays is a little more international, has an international appeal. Everybody knows come è fatto il cannolo. So the ingredients of the dough of cannolo is flour, lard, sugar, a little bit of cocoa powder, and a very few salt. So the dough then is work like, you know, a filo, a puffy pastry. Then is shaped in a rhomboid shape, and then we put it around a cylindrical steel to have the nicest frying processing, we can say. We use the lard. So Papa, what we put inside the cannolo? Che mettiamo dentro al cannolo?
Nel cannolo ci mettiamo la ricotta di pecora autoctona della Valle del Belice, la ricotta più buona di tutta la Sicilia.
We fill the cannolo with the best ricotta we have in Sicily. That is the ricotta cheese made from the sheep of the Valley of Belice sheep. Is an indigenous kind of animal. So we received this ricotta from our vendor, and we drain it for one night. We had just a little bit of chocolate inside, and then we finish it with ice and sugar, and with the sliced candied orange. So thank you everyone for your attention. Ringrazio a tutti.
Grazie a tutti e buon cannolo a tutti.
Fantastic, awesome. That's amazing. I mean, I was saying that before when we did the sort of the dry run of this webinar, which I think it's very important, cannot escape, especially the people who are listening to us today. I mean, every time you walk in a lot of this establishment, we have beautiful example here today. This is a family tradition that is passed on from generation to generation. Vittoria is an example. Federica will see in shortly. It's another beautiful example of that. So the love and passion, sometimes hatred for that, for what you do, it really is sort of, it's really an extension of how people locally live their lives, and they put everything in it. This isn't just a job. This is what they do. It's almost an identity expression. So that's why we spend so much time explain to you what it is, because it's a really an experience that allow you to really get a foot into the door of the culture of Sicily. So please go ahead, Vittoria. Congratulations, your dad is amazing, and I'm sure that the cannolo is amazing too to eat. Unfortunately, we cannot have it.
You are right. I'm the second generation, of course, of this shop, of this activity, we can say. And I have a cake of each step of my life, because when I was born, my father invented something for me, because it's not enough the long tradition of 1,000 years of Sicilian pastry. So my father invented something more for us, okay?
Sure.
It's quite impossible to say to you something about our long tradition just in few minutes, but I want to tell you that legends say that cannolo was invented in the center of Sicily in Caltanissetta during the Arabic time. This means our medieval time.
Yeah.
And maybe used to have a sexy meaning, okay? So you can imagine why I don't want to get deeper over there. I'm a lady. So, and it's filled with ricotta cheese. Ricotta cheese you can find everywhere in Sicily, north, south, east, west, and so on. But it's a difference between the west part where I'm from and the other one, the east part, because we use sheep ricotta cheese, okay, made from the sheep milk. In particular, my family, we want to use the Bellicina. We have a lot of different kinds of races of animals in Sicily. Sicily is not only food, but our food is reconnected with the land. So this is the reason why each ricotta from different kind of animals tastes so different. This is the reason why I'm not able to have a cannolo in other parts of Sicily, because my taste is a taste from Palermo area, okay? Yeah. We're talking about small distances, but it's so different, and we are rich, we are blessed to live in Sicily. Yeah. And maybe you didn't know that the shell of cannolo should be filled just 10, maximum 15 minutes before you eat it. Okay.
This is my pet peeve. I always tell you, because as you said before, canola is very widely known, and one issue that we have here in the US, it's the fact that, you know, they're sitting there with this cream for hours, and it's very different. Of course, the ingredients are different, but the fact that it needs to be, you know, the cream can only go there only so, you know, so far ahead before eating, because otherwise it okay, perfect. I'm glad that I always thought that was
It's
true,
true.
but you know.
It is absolutely true. Okay. So when Giuseppe said you before that on Sunday, you should, you know, bring some cannoli with you. Sometimes you bring shells, okay, and ricotta in another box. So when will be the time at the end of the dinner or I don't know what, you can feel it. It's very easy, okay? It's easy peasy. It's not a big deal. I can do this because I'm the person in charge of tasting in my family, okay? So my job in my family is testing. Just to point out, don't
Gotcha.
ask me to prepare this shell, but I'm able to feel it and to show you. Just to give you an example, we have different sizes of it, okay? I don't have the family sizes, something like this, but you can have if you are, you know, very interesting in this situation. And I was talking to you about, you know, the testing, and I want to point out that it's very important, the connection, the network, because my father knows each shepherd. The shepherd is so important, and the shepherd knows each sheep. It depends on, you know, the season of the life of the sheep that give you the best milk for ricotta. I'm not kidding. If you taste the ricotta in springtime, it's better than the other rest of the year because the grazing is different. Until nowadays, we have animals all around. We don't have animals, you know, we can say jailed.
Of course, of course.
So the tradition of Chianti Albanese maybe is for this reason, because when my ancestors escaped, the area of Chianti Albanese is with hills, and over there, the sheep can graze all over.
Perfect. I want to ask you before we move on, just so that, because I forgot to ask you before, where exactly are you in reference of Palermo? How far are you? Because I forgot to ask you that.
By car is less than 20 minutes.
20
okay,
minutes.
so very close. And because I told you about the network, relationship, and so on, you can pair cannolo with everything you want. In
What is
Sicily.
that? What do you have there?
Okay, in this case, I choose a Moscato of Nodo, just to be in connection with my friends Federica and Graziella later. But you can also have a liquid postcard of other parts of Sicily, like Pantelleria, Passito di Pantelleria, or Marsala, I told Giuseppe before. So please, come and visit us. There's lots of things to taste and to learn about.
Oh, thank you, Victoria. It's amazing. I would love to. Fantastic. So Giuseppe, we got the street food, we got a cannolo. Of course, we're going backwards. Am I right? We have to go back to the first course. Am I right, Giuseppe?
Well, yes. Let's say we get back to flavory, to sort of more salty flavors. It's always beautiful to see the connection. You know, the people, as you were saying, the family. And again, the good company you're sharing food with is crucial. You know, the role of conviviality is big, and that's clearly stated in the recognition of the Mediterranean diet by UNESCO, which happens to turn 10 years exactly these days from this important, prestigious recognition. And most importantly, as the definition says, the role of women and their expertise is very, very fundamental. And talking about Mediterranean diet and the role of women, I think one of the best matches would be to listen to Federica now that she's going to prepare something for us, mouth-watering moment. Thank you.
Ciao Federica.
Hi, ciao a tutti. Hi everyone. I'm Federica. I'm the owner of Osteria dei Sapori Perduti that you find in the heart of Modica. And today I show you how we make pasta alla norma.
There you go.
Pasta alla norma is an important plate because there are three main ingredients that are cherry tomato sauce. This is I made with my grandma this summer, and eggplant. This is a local eggplant. Then I show you. I don't know if you see. This
Yes,
is
of course.
salted ricotta cheese is made from milk of cows, local cows. And you need also fresh pasta. This is cavatelli, is handmade with this is made with hard wheat flour. It's a Hansen grain. The name is Rossello.
Okay.
And we need also garlic.
Got it.
Extra virgin olive oil. This is a very important ingredient for all dish, because we don't use butter. We use always just olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. This is basil from my garden. I don't know if you see, very fresh. And salt and oregano. The oregano also from my garden. Okay, let's start. If you have time, this plate this step you can make 2-3 hours before make dish. And you need a eggplant. You cut, wash before, cut on the top, and then you cut in a slice. I show you the size.
Cut that way. Gotcha.
Like 1 centimeter, like this. This is this. Okay. And then you take one colander. Just 1 second, I show you. And you put eggplant and fine salt. In this way, the bitterness of the eggplant comes down, and you can see the liquid. This is the reason. This is the reason why you can, if you have a time, you do it before.
So, sorry, you said you put salt in a colander. Is that what you put? That's what you said?
Salt in the slice of eggplant.
Got it. Got it. Yes,
okay.
I understand. You let it sit down and then you lose the bitterness. Gotcha.
See. Okay. Now
no, I do it because if I understand it, everybody understands it. As my wife said, I'm the most horrible cook. So if I get it, everybody does. Go ahead.
Okay. Can I continue? You
yes,
understand?
please. Do it. Go ahead.
So. Now it's time to make a sauce.
Yeah.
And you need just a garlic. I crunch it.
Okay.
You put in a pot.
Yep.
Okay. And extra virgin olive oil. Perfect. And tomato sauce of my grandma.
Got it.
The smell is good. Perfect. And leaves of basil. And my mother put also oregano. If you want,
oregano.
Yes.
There we go.
Okay. And cook for 10, 12 minutes.
12 minutes, you said?
Yes, depend of the sauce. This one needs just 12 minutes.
Got it.
Okay, now you take another pot and you put water. And when I already put a little bit of water, just a little bit more. Salt. This is pot for the pasta.
Okay.
Okay. And then we wait that boil. When it's ready, you can put pasta.
Gotcha.
Okay. And now it's time to fry. It's an important step.
So you fried after you put the after you put the pasta to boil?
No, before. I wait that it boil.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay, I got it.
We take a pan. We put olive oil.
Yep.
No the oil, just olive oil.
Sure.
And then, okay, when the olive oil is ready, put this slice of eggplant that we made before.
Okay. As it is, no flour, no nothing, just as it is. You just put the slice as it is, no flour, no nothing, just as it is.
Nothing. Already salted before.
Got it.
And the olive oil, when it's ready, we can put.
Gotcha.
And now I show you the color.
Yeah.
The eggplant are ready when the color is like golden.
Wow.
This is the result. You can see. Okay. Meanwhile, I put the pasta, fresh pasta. Okay.
And the pasta again is called cavatelli?
Yes, this pasta is cavatelli. If you want, I can do again. I take another piece. This is I made it.
Wow.
You see?
Hey, that's interesting. It kind of look like gnocchi from far away, although it's of course hard.
Gnocchi, we call cavatelli.
Ah, ho
and
capito.
Eat with the fork.
Ah, okay. Okay. Don't turn it. Cool.
No.
Very cool. I can see it. Awesome.
This is with the fork. You take one piece of pasta, take a fork, and make this shape.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay.
Very cool.
Yes.
All right. So we had the pasta, we had the eggplant, the tomato sauce is cooking.
Yeah, we have the tomato. Just 1 second for tomato. I already do it before because we don't have too much time.
No, it's okay. Don't rush.
Okay. Perfect. Now.
So let me ask you, where is your restaurant? Is it in the middle of this? Is it in the center of the city of Modica?
Yes,
where
yes. I am near Graziella.
Yeah, okay. The 1-2 punch. You're the 1-2 punch of Modica. The perfect meal. Very good.
It's beautiful. It's very beautiful. You can see in Graziella the St. Peter Church. We have every place you find a church. Beautiful church.
Perfect.
Okay.
So let's plate it.
Now it's time to compose.
You have to plate it. Perfect.
We use just the local and organic ingredients because this is the secret of a good, simple, easy but good
Great
dish.
ingredients.
Yes.
Okay, so we got the cavatelli out.
Yes, it's already ready because fresh pasta needs just a few minutes to cook.
Sure.
Then put the tomato, the garlic. We are used to.
Sure.
Don't put them. Oh, just 1 second.
Wow.
Okay. Then we take a piece of. In our house, we put just 5 or 6 slices of eggplant. In this case, I put just 1 just for show you.
Of course.
Okay. Then this is tomato, eggplant. Then we put ricotta cheese. This is salted ricotta cheese.
Yeah, no, can you explain to the listener, because when you hear ricotta they picture something, but this is, I know for a fact, it's a very different one. You don't eat it like you would eat any other cheese. You can only because it's too salty.
Salted, but if you are used to eat salted, you can eat. But we use like a cheese in pasta, in parmigiana.
Nice. Perfect. And then basil on top.
The smell is good. I don't know.
No, that's cruel, but you have to stop. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do this. Guys, it's 1:30 in the afternoon. Okay, good. Got it. It looks awesome. Yeah, thank you. Gotcha. I got it. Good. That's cruel. Perfect. So this is how pasta alla norma is done. So for all our listeners, anything that looks different than that has the same name, but it's not the same thing. Grazie, grazie Federica. Thank you very much. So we got the pasta. Now we have to complete our journey. Am I right, Giuseppe, in Modica and finish our meal?
Of course, there is always room for more food, right?
Of course.
And we keep hearing these keywords: local, fresh, organic. Isn't this amazing? And now I see this beautiful setting where Graziella is located with the fantastic Duomo of St. Peter in Modica. She will tell us something about a very, very important part of our history. And you see, it encompasses everything. You've got history, you've got food, you've got people, the conviviality. You simply, you have everything. I mean, life is pretty amazing. So yes, Graziella, go ahead.
Ciao
Prego.
Graziella, benvenuta. Ciao. I think you're muted. You have to unmute yourself. Non ti sentiamo. You're muted. You have to unmute yourself. Ecco, now yes, ora ti sentiamo. Hi, welcome.
It's really a disaster because I always talk. If I cannot talk, it's the end.
That's what my wife does. She puts the mute button. Otherwise, go ahead.
Okay, welcome to everyone. I'm very happy to be with you on this webinar. And I'm in the same town of Federica, as she already said. We are on the same main road from one corner to the other one. Now we can tell you we are the boss of Modica, me and Federica. We are joking, obviously, but I'm here in front of the St. Peter's Church. Modica is a beautiful town with more than 100 churches. And so I thought to have my restaurant, Vico dei Santi, just in front of a church, just to have a good protection without needing any other type of protection. Because I have protection of my saints and of the apostles on the staircase of St. Peter. So I'm inside my restaurant, Vico dei Santi, and here I'm in a room that I call the grandma's room, because really we have all the furniture of grandma. And what we do here is we have a common restaurant where we prepare Sicilian and Modican food, also with like Federica, with organic ingredients and everything made with ancient recipes. But what we do is also something else. We do cooking, not only cooking lessons, but also chocolate hands-on. And what we do today is a chocolate hands-on. Why? Because just 1 second, because I have to close the door.
Sure, of course, go ahead.
Right. I didn't want to close the door to show you the beautiful view on the church, but as cars are passing, I cannot hear very well, and you cannot hear very well, so I prefer to close. Okay, so welcome to this beautiful town. I mean, Sicily is really beautiful everywhere. I'm in love with Palermo, I'm in love with Piano degli Albanese, Catania, all the island. And I would like to start with something that I always say to my American friends, because I think that we have something in common. Sicily and the United States, we have something in common. Sicily is really just a little bit smaller, just a little bit. We have just a little bit more land, but we have something in common, because usually you say that the United States are really a melting pot, and you're right. They're a melting pot of modern times with a mix of cultures and people coming from everywhere. And I always say we are a melting pot too, but we are a melting pot of very ancient times. So all our culture expresses itself also in our cuisine, not only obviously in our architecture and everywhere, and also in our cuisine. Nearly every plate that we have is linked with one of the dominations we have. In the case of Modica and the chocolate, because Modica is well known as a town of chocolate, it is linked to the Spanish domination. And so when the Spaniards arrived on the island, obviously not only in Modica, here we have the tradition of this cocoa arriving from Latin America, obviously, throughout the Spaniards, and thanks to the Jesuits. This tradition arrived to Modica, and our noble families, they fell in love with this drink, because we have to say that
chocolate was born as a drink. Hot chocolate was the first thing, because it was, the word chocolate comes from the word used by the Aztecs. It was chocolate. Chocolate was a drink that was made with hot water, cocoa, and chili pepper, and it was offered to gods. Also because the legend said that Quetzalcoatl gave the fruit that was only divine to human beings, and human beings, to thank him, they always made this drink and offering it to God. So when this tradition reached Modica, obviously not by the Aztecs, but with the Spanish domination roughly 200 years ago, our noble families, they didn't really like it, but they liked it, but it was too bitter for them. So they started to add sugar, forming one of the first bars in the world. This is what we are going to do today together. I had to start a little bit before because otherwise I don't have time. I don't have enough time to make it really live, because what we do here, the hands-on, takes roughly 2 hours from the very beginning, because we do this also for small groups, and it is really very, very nice. I mean, people, they really like it a lot. And I started to melt the cocoa mass. You see, we start when we do the hands-on, the chocolate hands-on, we start showing a bit the starting with the cocoa beans, which are, I don't know if you see them, the cocoa beans, which are the fruits of the seeds of the cabossa that are first, they have a fermentation, then they are dried, and then they are roasted, and then at the end they are used to make the cocoa mass. The blocks of cocoa mass are used to make chocolate. We don't produce them here. They arrive from Latin America and from Africa. But our chocolate of Modica is EGP, which means it is a trademark. It has had now, it's like a DOP or DOP.
Oh, you just pressed.
EGP, it means typical indication in a place. So the ingredients are not local, but the way of making this chocolate is local, and we still make this chocolate exactly like it was made in the past because of a few reasons. Here I have
sorry, Grazia, stop you 1 second. I want to ask you one thing. I didn't ask you during the rehearsal, and I wanted to. So I never tried it. Let's say I never tried the Modica chocolate. How does it have a different sort of aftertaste or taste from other chocolate that I might have tried? Could you explain to like me, for example, that I never had it? What does it taste like?
It is totally different. First of all, because we don't add any type of fat, and we don't add milk. Our chocolate is always without milk. We don't add fat, and it is made at a very low temperature. As you will see now, because here we have the cocoa mass. I don't know if you can see it. I bring it closer, but this is the cocoa mass. Okay, that here in Modica you find it in this version in small pieces, because here it is a tradition in the houses to make chocolate. So you can buy 200 grams, 300 grams, 1 kilo of cocoa mass to make your own chocolate at home. What we do here is now not the chocolate that they produce from the labs to sell it, but the chocolate that we make at home, because here it is a tradition that is strictly linked to all the families, even if it started as a tradition for noble families. And I put the cocoa mass, I put it already a couple of minutes ago in a double boiler. What I have here is a double boiler. So this part, you see, I don't know if you can see it. I try to show you a little bit. Let's try again. I try to show you.
Oh, yeah, I can see it.
I try to show you a little bit. What you see, it looks like chocolate, but it's not chocolate yet. It's just melt cocoa mass, and it is melt in a double boiler, because the temperature doesn't have to be too high. So in the pot, in the bigger pot, we have water, and then we put the second pot inside. So we melt the cocoa mass already, and as soon as the cocoa mass is melted, this takes roughly 20-25 minutes. Therefore, I had to make it before we had to start. And after this, we don't need the heat source anymore. This is one
I can't hear anymore.
Okay, we don't need the heat source anymore. So when we start to make the chocolate, we take it away from the heat source, because we don't need it anymore. it is made cold. This is one difference between common chocolate and our chocolate.
Oh, interesting.
Because in common chocolate, what happens? They melt cocoa mass at a higher temperature, and then they add cocoa butter, other types of fat, and sugar, and they work it for 8-9 hours, always with heat. Instead, in our chocolate, what happens is that as soon as the cocoa mass is melted, like you see here, now it is melted, but I wait a little bit because it doesn't have to be too warm when I put the sugar. It's exactly the opposite. Okay, so when I put the sugar, the temperature is not higher than 40 degrees centigrade. And we make it very briefly together. I don't know if you can see it. I hope you can see it. Yeah, you see it? Yeah. Okay. And now we start to add the sugar. And as the sugar that I add, the portion is sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
So it's granulated sugar. Okay.
This is now common sugar. You can also make it with brown sugar if you want.
Okay.
And we start adding it to the cocoa mass, mixing it, and we have to add the same quantity of sugar. It means I put 5 of this of cocoa, so the same quantity of sugar has to be put inside. And while I'm doing this, because this is, I mean, I would like to tell you also that we don't use chocolate just to eat it. We use it a lot to make hot chocolate with it. And this is also the reason why it started to be produced.
It's a heavy.
It's heavy. It's heavy, hot. You can.
Good.
This part is hot, but I don't know. I'm not sure if you see it. Therefore.
No, we can see it. We can see it perfect. So you just stir it. Okay, got it. And you said now it's about 40 degrees centigrade Celsius. Yes. 40, 45.
Exactly. And I will continue stirring it. And at the end, I put the spices because the original chocolate was made just with spices, which means with cinnamon or with vanilla or with other types of spice, mainly with chili pepper. So the most ancient flavor is the chocolate with chili pepper. I would like to show you closer one of the molds, the ancient molds that are no longer used now. I don't know if you can see it. Well, I just made the tour. Let's see.
Perfect. Okay, go ahead. Graziella, I'm sure you. Hey, perfect. We can see it very well. I didn't ask you. I'm sure you said it. Probably I lost it. How long is that? You know, how long is this tradition of chocolate making in Modica? How many? Is that how many years has it?
More than it arrived at the end of the 17th century, but then we really in the 18th century it started to become famous in the noble families. And noble families, there was an ancient job called cioccolataro. In the noble families, he went to the harbor of Pozzallo buying the cocoa beans. Yeah. And then preparing for the noble families twice a year before Easter and before Christmas, the bars of chocolate, preparing the bars of chocolate for the year or for 6 months, because the chocolate was then used to make hot chocolate with. And 1/4 of the bar, in the molds, you see the 3 lines dividing the bar into 4 parts, because 1/4 of the bar was the perfect portion for 1 cup of hot chocolate.
Perfect.
It was like the Britons, they used to drink tea. Here, our noble families in Modica, they used to drink hot chocolate every afternoon. It was really a status symbol. If they could not afford to have hot chocolate in the afternoon, they were considered not to be noble enough. So it was something very, very important. And then what I'm explaining you a little bit, because I will add now also the cinnamon. In this case, we're making cinnamon chocolate. So I have a bit of cinnamon here, and we add it as you can see, it is something really very easy, but you cannot smell it, obviously.
No, we
But
cannot, unfortunately, no.
but we
So
use the
while
chocolate.
you're doing that, I remember yesterday we had this great idea. I guess it could be a business opportunity. I mean, the whole Modica experience was that we discussed yesterday. They can come early in the morning, have your class with you, prepare all the chocolate, go for a
Yeah.
stroll, possibly have a bite at Federica's place, go and see the many churches that Modica has to have, and then on the way back home, stop by again from you, pick up the chocolate that was made, and then go home and get fat. That's the plan, no?
Now the plan is, you are here in Modica, and Modica is one of the towns of the Val di Noto, which means also the places of the Baroque style.
Here you
If
go.
you know, typical characteristic of Baroque style is everything is round shaped, everything is, and so we have to stay Baroque like our
Yeah,
towns, and they
exactly.
have to eat well and to
Exactly.
to.
It's a celebration of life. I mean, it's perfect.
I don't
You were
understand
saying
why
yesterday that Modica has many
Palermo.
churches. Do I remember it right? That Modica has an unusual number of churches, considering that it's not a huge town. Am I right,
Yeah,
Graziella?
yes, because Modica is now a town belonging to the province of Ragusa, but it was a town that was a county, and the power of the county of Modica reached nearly Palermo, just at the doors of Palermo, and therefore there were a lot of noble families, and the noble families are very often also in a strict connection with the church, and very often they had nearly the own church also, because one of the sons very often had to become priest, and so both nobility and church were linked. Very often churches where there are a lot of noble families, there are also a lot of churches, and therefore in Modica we have such a lot of churches, also because Modica was quite rich. And
Gotcha.
nowadays the province of Ragusa, the very south of Sicily, is one of the richest provinces of Sicily because of many things. I mean, I worked as a tour guide for 30 years, so I have to pay attention now not to start to become a tour guide, because I can
Sure.
explain all the area, but I don't do it, otherwise my job is not ready yet. But it is therefore that the town has so many churches. Imagine also that we are in a canyon. All our churches are with huge staircases because we are inside a canyon.
Wow.
Here, where we are now, it's Modica Bassa. It's just the end of a canyon, and so the town is like, it's built like a Y. So we
Gotcha.
have the main road where we are now, and then it goes up to the right hand side, to the left side,
Nice.
and therefore so many churches, and it's a very interesting town with very interesting things to do. And one of the typical tours that we do here is, for example, the one of, as you said before, that they come here before the tour, we make the chocolate together, and then they can have the tour, and when they finish the tour, they can come back and they can take the chocolate they made on their own with them. And this is something nice they can do. So Modica is a very particular town, like all Sicily is a particular place. I mean,
Of
love
course.
all the islands.
So that's how you do the chocolate now. It's perfect. Now you're doing that. I wanted to ask you, how big the group can you host to have these classes when you teach them how to make chocolate?
We can have to have the real hands-on till 10 people.
Got it.
Because everyone has to make their own bar.
Sure.
And if it can be handled also as a show cooking, it means showing it. So only some of them can make the bar. But if everyone has to make the bar, has to make the whole procession to make the chocolate, it has to be like 10 people. I believe that I add something more, because now I put already the cocoa mass mixed with sugar and cinnamon into the molds. But if I show you the molds now,
there we go. That's the chocolate.
It just doesn't look like a bar now, because it has to be cooked now. And what is the very funny part of this tradition then is we have to move it a little bit, because otherwise, when chocolate is made in the traditional way, it is made with heat, everything is melted, and then if they put it into the molds, it takes any shape they want. And you can make very thin Easter eggs and whatever you want. With Modigan chocolate, it's not possible because as it is made cold, when you put it into the molds to make really a bar out of it, you have to move it a lot. And this is the funny part because it's an anti-stress.
You get to slam stuff, huh?
Yes, I do it now for a couple of minutes for you, and so you will see how the shape will totally change. It's noisy now. Usually it is used by psychologists because you can make a chocolate. In the meantime, if you have somebody you don't like, you make a picture, you put it on the table, and then you can continue doing that.
Of course, of course, of course. I think people are very nervous if we would do that forever. I mean, like, yeah, I get it.
You see, if you like, I don't know if you can see it now, but now it becomes more brilliant on the surface.
Gotcha.
You can see some air bubbles because doing this, the air bubbles they come out of the bar, and you have the compact bar that can be used then to eat it like that because we have thousands of flavors of Modigan chocolate, even with ginger, with nutmeg, and with many other spices, with orange zest, lemon zest, and many, many other things. Obviously, after doing this, people, they go away, okay? They do the tour, and then it becomes cold. And when they come back, they can take the bar with them. I will show you, I mean, it is, I cannot wait till it becomes cold, but I show you one bar that is already
So that's how it looks like, eh? Oh, yeah, perfect.
It looks like you can see very clearly the 3 lines dividing the bar into 4 parts. Our chocolate is different. It's crunchy. It is grainy because there is no fat inside. So it is really totally different from common chocolate. And it is very resistant to heat. We are in Sicily.
So it's good for cooking. That's what you're saying. It's also good for cooking, no?
It's good to eat it and also good for cooking. For example, one thing that I would like to add is that in Modica, another very, very particular thing is for sure a pastry that is called mbanatilla. I show you the mbanatilla. I don't know if you
can see. I can see it. It's like a pastry with chocolate inside.
When it is closed, it looks like that. When it is open, let's see if you see it.
Nice.
You see it inside. There's chocolate.
Yeah.
But it's not only chocolate. It's not really vegan.
Oh, okay.
It is with meat and chocolate and almonds and cinnamon and sugar, and it sounds strange, but it is not really strange. Considering that I'm talking with people in the States, probably you know what empanadas are. You find usually empanadas all over the United States, even if it is a traditional link to Spain and to Latin America. But empanadas, they are filled with meat, with fish, with vegetables. And the small ones are called empanadillas in Spanish. We call empanadilla in Modican dialect. It's exactly the same. They have the same
we
shape.
Said we are so close to the United States. That's one more thing that we have to share, the empanada as well.
Empanadas, and here we make them. We have also the ones that are salted. They are called mbanata. Mbanata, we make them for Easter, filled with lamb. And in Sicilian, it's mbanata. It comes from the Spanish empanada. Even bocadillos. You know bocadillos in Spain. In Spanish, you have them in the States too. In Modica, we make something called bucatella, which is made with cauliflowers.
Graciela, I just talking to you again about 20 pounds. It's amazing. Thank you so very much. This is really, really special. And you know, once again, oh, what do you have there? There's another one.
I have here the very good tortino di cioccolato di Modica. It's made with Modican chocolate because Modican chocolate is the best, obviously.
Of course, we got it.
I don't know if I can show you that if it's close enough, but opening it.
Is it melting? Yes, of course.
Yeah, it is. I have to move. Yeah, okay.
Nice.
I don't know if you can see it.
All right. Yeah, I know.
I don't have many webinars because otherwise, because now I have to eat it. I have to eat one. Anyway,
Grazie,
great.
grazie Graziella, grazie tantissimo. Thank you. So Giuseppe, I'm full. I think all our, I wanna, I wanna apologize to Federico because we were gonna discuss some more plates, but as you can see, there's a lot to cover. I wanna, Giuseppe, do you have anything to add before we let everybody go?
No, I said thank you very much for watching to the very end. That was really the toughest challenge, was to really try to condense everything and what we believe is the very best in 1 hour or so. So thank you very much indeed. We are having a fantastic fall. Just to tell you that you can do this in high but also in low season. We're having a fantastic fall. I go riding my bike a lot. 60 Fahrenheit, 65 Fahrenheit on average. Fantastic. Recently it came up on the CN Travelers and the Travel and Leisure. That Italy is the best destination for 2021. So we are very thrilled, very excited. Thank you very much. And thank you to all the attendees, and a special arrivederci to you, Francesco. So I'm dedicating this typical delicacy. I'm going to eat after this for you.
Stop.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your patience, Francesco. You're very kind.
I want to thank everybody. I want to thank Giuseppe, Sergio, Vittoria, Federica, Graziella, everybody. This is been very comprehensive. I want to, of course, thank all the patients, sort of people listening to it. I know it was extensive, but as you can see, there was a lot to cover. Once again, at the end of this webinar, you will receive a survey. You can tell us what you think. If you have any questions, as I said, you can contact the organizer to have even more information. We'll be happy to provide you with those. And of course, once again, I want to repeat, the happy 5th World Week of Italian Cuisine, la cucina italiana del mondo. Thanks again to the ambassador Armando Varricchio, to my boss, the executive director Giovanni Bastianelli, and of course, this is a lot of people working on this. I want to thank my colleague from Toronto, Salvatore e Sabrina, from the Los Angeles office, Fabrizio and Emanuela, of course, from my New York office, Caterina, Cosmo, and Marzia. Thank you very much. See you in the next one. Bye.